down here and set up or whatever.
Okay.
Welcome back to JB Reviews. I got a great video for you guys. I had no intentions of filming this. I call it blessed because I was looking for a truck, couldn't find it. And I just walked back into service and I was looking for exactly the truck I needed to do a video on. Like, no lie, I forgot what truck I was supposed to be filming, and I just, I'm a guy, so I'm just, tunnel vision. So met this tech doing a teardown on a Cummins. Absolutely great guy. Name is Josh, master tech, highest level, and not afraid to be on camera, which is hard for some techs. Like, they don't like to talk on camera, but he didn't care. He's a cool dude, knows what he's talking about. And a lot of people in the comment section have been saying, man, you must be running out of things to talk about. Well, I might be, but you know what? Jehovah Jireh. I keep saying that to you guys. You don't even know what that means to you. Let's jump into the video.
So you said that the lifter problem is more common. Is it more in the 2022s?
19 and newer.
19 and newer.
Yeah.
Wow. So that was supposed to be standing up when you put it in there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's not supposed to come out like that. So let's figure out what happened now.
And this is a 2022 guy, just if I didn't say it yet. And this is Josh, by the way, too. So if you have any engine failures, come see Josh. This is what he loves to do. 100%.
I've got another one sitting outside. We got a tear apart failure. You
got another one? What year is that one?
23.
23?
Connecting rod came out the side of the block. So we've got a nice little inspection hole.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No.
Now, is this under warranty? So in other words, no one should be deleting their trucks right now.
Deleting is illegal.
Yeah, it is illegal. If you're doing it for racing, that is, right? Racing.
It's, when we're talking about the environment and with the EPA and all of that, there's a lot of controversy on how manufacturers attempt to rectify the situation with cars to help clean up the exhaust.
Yeah.
The aftermarket industry, especially like Gale Banks, has been ahead of that curve for a very long time.
Yep.
And they're able to bring way more power, way more torque, way more reliability, and cleaner tailpipe emissions when done correctly.
Wow.
So,
because he has a contract with the government for diesel.
Yeah, trying to figure out better, easier, more efficient ways to run the engines.
Right.
And unfortunately, we get to play around with all of the stuff that the engineers for the manufacturers think is best, which not so much.
It's never.
Well, they're worried about cost too.
Yeah. So if you need to do a lifter failure replacement, right?
Yeah.
The lifter, you have to take off the cab to get to the lifter.
Yeah.
That is wow. And the other one is a connecting rod. You said came undone.
Yeah, the rotating assembly broke.
Yeah.
And it's sticking out the side of the block right behind the PCM.
Yeah. I'm shocked that they're allowing you to just I'm surprised they didn't send you a new engine.
Well, a new engine on this is $26,000.
Oh, okay.
Well, $23,000, and then you have labor.
Got you.
And then this repair is going to cost far less.
I see.
Some gaskets, and camshafts, and lifters.
Could the customer have fought to get a new engine if they cared?
I even pushed for it.
Oh, you pushed for it too?
So the new 5th gen Cummins is a Star restricted part. Star is our engineering department. And you have to go through a whole lot of hoops in order to order an engine.
Really?
Yeah, and I pushed with Star over and over and over again to just replace the entire engine. And they're like, nope, let's replace cam and lifters. And I'm going, I don't see a failure in the cam and lifters. So we need to replace the whole engine as a much better final product to the customer. Because I'm not confident this repair is going to be the fix for the problem that we have.
Wow. But that's what they're asking you to do first. So basically at the customer's expense, right?
Next week I could be doing this exact same thing but pulling the motor out.
You're kidding, man.
No.
So I did a Ford Super Duty failure. It had 3,000 miles on it. So I mean, their engine's kind of new. They did some updates to it. It had 3,000 miles, but I can't remember what happened because they wouldn't let them take it apart. So they just wanted it back. So does Ram sometimes want the engine back if they have a failure? Or?
I think they've gotten past that point, and that's why they're saying just replace cam and lifters. Because they've gotten so many of them back.
I see.
And they've seen that the common problem is cam and lifter failure.
Potentially.
But that's the old cam right there, and there's no failure on it.
Where's it at?
So when you
right here.
When you see a cam failure because of a lifter failure, this lobe will be ground down to almost round. And then the old lifters, the bearings will go out of the roller, and that'll be ground almost into like a triangle shape, or at least one huge flat spot.
And what would people like notice about their engine? Would it be running rougher?
You'll get a tick.
Oh, you'll get
It'll
a tick.
start making like a ticking noise inside. You might end up with a cylinder misfire code.
I see. Now, would oil changes help prevent that, or?
So my personal opinion on it, Ram has changed their interval for oil change to 10,000 miles. We run a 5W40 synthetic in the 5th gen Cummins.
Yeah.
Even though prior to 19 on the 4th gen, they were still closer to about 9,800. You're talking about an engine that is capable of pulling the guts out of China. And we're running thinner oil and making the oil change interval longer. And I think that is where the very stem of the problem that we're seeing is not the proper oil being engineered for it.
Yeah.
And the length between oil changes.
So you think conventional oil 15W?
No, you still run a synthetic.
Oh, okay. I'd rather run the
I'd rather run a 15 instead of a 40 though.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But because of EPA and all of that, they need the thinner oil so that the engines can actually pass the EPA spec mile per gallon city and highway.
Wow.
So they got to make everything lighter, spin freer. A thicker oil makes the crankshaft fight harder to spin through.
Gotcha.
But they've been running a 1540 in these since the beginning of the 12 valve Cummins back in the 90s. So why is it so special now that we got to run a 5W40?
I see.
You don't want a thinner oil in an engine that produces over 1,000 foot-pounds of torque.
Right.
You know, that's 1,000 foot-pounds, that's extreme high compression pressures pushing down on the piston, thus pushing down on the connecting rod and the crankshaft with a thin layer of oil protecting the bearings from the connecting rod to the crankshaft.
Right.
When you have that much more pressure pushing down, it's going to squeeze that oil out. If you have a thinner oil, it squeezes it out easier.
Wow.
So why are you running a thinner oil on an engine that produces twice the power that it did 15 years ago?
Man, that's a good point, dude. I didn't even think about that. That's a great point.
Maybe I should be an engineer.
You should be an engineer.
I mean, you come up with a heck of a lot better way to replace these lifters than this crap.
Yeah, no, I bet you could too. All right, so we're gonna go through the process of how we figured out why this was the problem on this Cummins.
All right, so vehicle comes in and it's got a thunk, a tick, and a rattle coming from the engine. We diagnosed the thunk to coming from the bell housing area, so we removed the transmission and we were holding on to the torque converter and we could hear something rattling inside the torque converter. So we put the torque converter back, or a new torque converter in, put the transmission back in the truck. Got rid of the thunk. Now we still got a tick and a rattle that we're dealing with. The tick sounded like a bearing on a serpentine belt tensioner. So I removed the belt and the tick didn't go away. So we end up diagnosing that from coming from the valve train area. So we removed the valve cover. I ended up finding #1 intake rocker arm pivot point frozen, which coincided with the tick, and I was even hopeful that it was going to take care of our rattle. So we put a new rocker arm on it, put everything back together, started up, and the tick's gone. Now we still got this rattle coming from the engine. And the rattle coming from the valve train area, the rotating assembly, or the valve control, that's when we determined that we've got a faulty lifter. Wow. So we tear it all apart, get the lifters out, and get with our engineering team, Star, and that's when they said replace cam and lifters.
Wow. So 3 different things.
3 different things. Like I said, I think this thing was built on a Friday, and It was built in Mexico. So I think they were wanting to go have some cervezas and maybe some tequila shots.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude. Hey man, thank you so much for this.
You
Is
bet,
awesome.
buddy. You bet.
Awesome, man.
I know you guys don't like when I get political on this channel, so I did start a second one. But I have to say one thing. If what you just heard does not make you want to vote Republican, I don't know what will. I don't understand why people can't see that these different organizations in the government are just bad for business for us as diesel owners. You heard what Josh said. If that ain't wisdom, if that ain't the truth, and truth be told, that's the second time I've heard someone say that to me. First person that told me, I heard it, but when he said it, I believed it. So with that being said, I will try to go back and film the second Cummins that he has. I want to see them take off the cap, but that might be hard. Excuse me. I'm gonna take some more shots at some guys in the comment section. Some of you guys say I don't work, but truth be told, I don't have to prove anything to you guys. Hey, son, you ready to go jump on the trampoline? Huh? You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. I guess I don't work.